Never seen mine. No, no, you have a real name.
I don't think so. I think it's paper.
Yeah.
You got it.
No.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's.
I'm just. Okay.
No, no, wait, yours is paper?
Yeah.
Yours is paper.
I don't have a real.
It's old.
It's a real one?
It's old.
Come on.
It's
She
old.
deserves it.
Oh.
I don't need it.
Listen.
You deserve one too.
Yeah, I do. Listen.
No, I'll keep it.
Where's the part?
Punk rock.
That's it. I'm now all set.
There you go.
Is Roberts real?
Roberts is real.
Oh,
Coates was already, when I came on board.
Oh.
was already there.
Look, what, this is a construction technique. You blame the last guy.
It's a non.
It's grandfather day.
That's right. That's not conforming.
Fair enough.
Pre-existing non-conforming, okay.
You're all set.
All right, I motion to open meeting.
Motion.
Okay, thanks. Vote. Okay, passes, great. Okay, so, do we have any updates, Mike?
No updates, but I want to take a second to introduce our new planning and zoning clerk,
Okay,
Caitlin Sumner. It's her second day on the job. So she will be attending the meetings in future. I will still be at them, but just, she's here to help us in the building and planning and zoning department.
awesome.
Because we're down some staff from previous years. So-
Yes, yes, it is,
So
it
we
is
have a new clerk who will help move everything through.
awesome. Thank you. Welcome on board. You know, he knows a lot of information. Most of it is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, welcome on board. Okay, yeah, like this is, this is this is a very short one, so you're gonna like this one. You get one early usually. So that's the only updates?
That's the only.
Those boards updates?
No.
Nothing? Okay, introduction of the new clerk, we already did that, great. Okay, cool. Why don't you come up and tell us about your building?
I brought it up for everybody.
Perfect.
Should I go first?
You can do whatever you want.
This is,
Um,
do you have, do you have a scale? I didn't bring my bag and
I didn't bring a scale, no.
Mike, do you have a scale?
I want
Think we do.
Thank you, you're the best.
copies of the survey help.
Yeah, you need to
Oh,
do
we're
that.
gonna do this. Okay.
I can do it with this one.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's a blow up. On the second page. I'm Brian Bear, by the way, and. Thanks to you. But you're looking for the gap on that.
Yeah, I was just saying like a gap is approximate. You know, what, Mike, they have a scale here. I totally, thank you, but I'll pay attention.
So Sean, I can give you just a quick introduction. It's a little unusual of why this is here.
Okay,
This is the ADU, which is an allowed use in the village. Without planning board review. But because they can't meet some of the conditions of the ADU requirements. And that's in the zoning determination. One is the square footage, they're asking for a larger building than is allowed.
Mhm.
And the second is, there was a pre-existing garage there and they're unable to match those setbacks because it's a bigger building. So they need a setback variance.
okay,
So that's the two variances they're asking.
okay. There's two setbacks though, right? Isn't there?
Yes, I believe there's two. I think they're the two side yards. The rear yard, they're able to match what the garage had, so that one is allowed to continue. But the two side yards, they have to keep that.
Right, because.
Yeah. And the code says 12 feet or the height of the building, whichever is greater. So because the building is
20
taller on one side than the other, I want to leave it to you guys to decide how to resolve.
Okay, all right. Is it, okay, just, why don't you guys talk and then we'll not interrupt you or we'll try not to interrupt you and then we'll.
Okay, so, this project started because, the county in Rupco was offering a program for people to build, affordable dwelling units, on their property. And, it's got a whole bunch of rules to it. It has to be affordable. I think it's after it's been built, they determine how much you can charge for it if you rent for it. But the idea was that the county really wanted to promote more infill and affordable housing. So I applied for it and I was one of the people who got it. I'm not sure if any of the other ones that were awarded to New Paltz have been built yet. I think there was one that was like a prefab. So I got a survey done and it doesn't exactly fit. But my house is really old and it's sort of pre-existing non-conforming, like when they put the survey in, like one of the posts was in my neighbor's driveway. So I mean, I'm not like, it's an old house. It's from, I think, was it 1903? Basically it started with the idea of building it, and then my parents are in their 90s, and so I decided, well, if they live long enough for me to actually take care of them here, because I've been traveling to Virginia to take care of them, and it's a lot, it's very difficult. But so my dad's losing his sight, so I wanted it to be ADA compatible as well. So when they pass, I'll be able to offer it to somebody who's a low income and disabled. And so that's why there's like, oh, and I wanted the slant roof, I guess you can attest to that, because I wanted something that was also like energy efficient and environmentally conscientious. But my property, if you look at it, it's just a weird little sliver and it's on a corner. And I've talked to all of my neighbors and they all seem very agreeable. All right. So, Brian here. Okay.
So picking up on that, the proposed accessory dwelling unit is a 2-bedroom unit. Where on the first floor, it's living, dining, eating, fully accessible bathroom, and a bedroom to accommodate one or two or up to two individuals with an access and functioning need. There's an internal stair going up to a secondary bedroom where a caretaker would stay full time. There are obviously closets, there's a mechanical space. The roof is pitched and constructed in a way to accommodate future solar panels, so that the structure could be a net zero building in the future. We are requesting the variances that are outlined in the documents for the 2 side yards. Again, we were meeting the rear yard setback. As you can see on the second page, which is a blow up of where the existing garage was. That's the smaller rectangle that's shaded. And then the proposed ADU is the larger rectangle. The dimension from the southernmost corner to the street is 16'3". So the property line is just south of 5 feet. And then on to the northern edge, we have 12'5" to the northwest corner and a little bit less than that to the northeast corner.
If you're interested in looking at the property, it's across the street.
Yeah.
On the corner, so.
So do you live in this property?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I live there with my daughter, full time.
Okay, so if you tell me you want to build a net zero house, we've had a very good tradition of saying yes, but that becomes part of the judgment.
Mhm.
So as soon as you say net zero solar, we get very excited, or at least I do.
I'll commit to that.
But you are not going to get a CO unless you have solar panels and all the stuff done. So it has to, like, so if you're gonna say we're gonna do the net zero, you have to fully commit to that. Otherwise I lose interest, because many places have said we're gonna do this and they end up not doing it. And it's so, that means you have to insulate the walls to a much higher standard, so you can't do 2x6 walls, you have to do some other thing. That means the roof has to be a foot or two thick to do the heating and stuff like that. You're gonna have to commit to solar panels, you're gonna have to commit to mini splits or ground-based geothermal, whatever your choice is. If you say that, I'm gonna hold you to it, and as soon as you say, oh, well, we're gonna do it in the future, you're gonna get nothing from me. So I don't know, I can't speak for the whole board, but I am very pro energy efficiency and solar. I believe most of us are that way. You guys want to give me a nod?
No, I mean, I'm in agreement, and if ADU has been designed for that purpose, putting that pitch for the purpose of solar panels, then I
Yes.
would be more comfortable knowing that that's going to be a guarantee and part of if we grant a variance, if that's gonna be part of or a contingent requirement of the grant of the.
I
Because
insisted
we
on
have
it.
done that with
Well,
other people.
Then you have to change the words you use. You have to say, we're going to put solar panels on. It's
Okay.
gonna get covered. We're gonna do super insulated walls. It's going to drive the cost up tremendously. You're talking just on solar panels, 20 grand. You're talking another 5 or 10 grand for better walls. You're talking another 5 or 10 grand for, there's definitely ways to do this. But if you are going to say don't say you're gonna do it, because realize we will write into it that that's the only way this works.
Okay.
Okay, and you won't get you won't get a CO and no one will be able to live in the place until you put solar panels on. So just be aware, you can say, if you're either in or you're out, as far as I'm concerned with that. So please pick one, be very consistent with it. When we see building plans, put the solar panels on them, realize that's gonna make the building slightly taller if you run them all the way to the top, so you might want to drop them down, so you don't increase the height anymore. So those are the things that we really look at. We also look at the angle. So if your angle isn't the correct angle, then, and it's not pointed at the sun, then that makes no sense, and then we question why you're doing it. When we put a peak or something in the workspace.
Do we have any dimensions or drawings of anything of like the internal layout?
No,
Okay. So,
I have a couple of sketches that I can forward to the board if they're interested.
that'd be great.
But this is definitely the footprint in terms of what you require for setbacks. There's.
Correct, correct. And there is on page 3 and 4, a 3D rendering of what the house is going to look like.
So maybe fortunately, maybe unfortunately, we tend to focus on different things. And for me, when we go through and talk about whether it's I forget the exact wording, but the lowest,
Yeah, the minimum necessary.
the minimum necessary, I can't make that decision without knowing if if the interior has like a ridiculous design for the sake of, you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah, like if the stairs are taking up a ton of space to get to, I can't make that decision without having that information.
Sure.
Where's the parking for the house going to be outside? So where's the parking gonna go?
Well, I don't have a car. So, the driveway I think should be sufficient, and if most people, I believe who would be living there wouldn't necessarily have a car either.
Yeah, but you have to have,
There's parking, there's street parking, and there's,
yeah, but you have to have some,
there's a driveway.
yeah, but you're covering the driveway with your house, so there's no place to park
You
anymore.
don't think there's enough room for a car?
It's 4 feet off the street, or it's 4 feet off your property line, according to your plans.
Please remind me, is parking allowed within the setback?
Is parking,
Yes.
yes,
It is.
but you don't have enough parking, you need to have, this is a 2-bedroom, just for this alone, you
Yeah,
need.
so you don't have to add extra parking for the ADU, but they do need to account for parking for the main structure.
Okay, and how many bedrooms are in the main structure?
There's 3, but they're not.
Okay, so that means you need 4 parking spots,
No,
It's
not
not.
for 3
I'm
bedrooms.
not,
not for 3 bedroom, how many do you need?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, Rachel, in the sense like you don't have a car, but
No.
we have to
When we make
gauge it
these
as if it's
decisions,
somebody, as if people who has a car. We can't,
You would
like,
need
if that's not gonna be what happens in perpetuity.
yeah, my daughter has a car, but
Right.
I don't.
But I mean, we have to base
someone different. may live
parking
there
based
50
on
years.
the house itself and the bedrooms in the house according to the code, so.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the number is in just a moment here.
Okay,
Because the problem I'm seeing right now is that once you put in a gravel driveway, you're probably not gonna have enough, you're probably gonna need another. You're either gonna have to, you're probably not gonna have enough space that's tunnelable. You're gonna be over your permit for the size of the place. Like, I'm not,
I would expect the building inspector to have mentioned that in the determination.
they, sometimes they.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We can amend that.
Yeah, that's, cause I think probably the confusion was they have this huge driveway, but then you're covering the driveway with the house. So it's, so you're gonna need a
So it would
driveway.
have to connect to
You
the,
couldn't, okay.
yeah, you couldn't come in here. There's like no. Yeah. Right, so like, if there were like a sidewalk here.
Because where does this,
Yeah.
where does this happen? This,
So the code is 3 spaces for a 3-bedroom.
Okay,
And by code, ADUs are exempt from requiring.
Yes,
additional
but
parking.
the house isn't, so
Right, so
you
you need
can't,
3 spaces.
you need 3
But that
spaces.
can be,
That can be
on free.
great within, there's a.
I was gonna ask, so the public parking, the fact that, I mean, it's in close proximity to public parking.
Yeah, and there's also metered parking, and actually on Plattekill, there's parking allowed along the roadway that is not metered because it's wide enough there, so,
There might even be parking.
I can go
Yeah.
back to the building inspector and ask him to determine if there's enough parking off-site.
Okay, that would be, cause I'm just,
It wasn't considered, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good point.
it's, and I'm like, I'm also having, I mean, just as in 20 to 30 to 40 years, this is gonna have different owners, and they, you know, like, they're gonna wanna have a driveway, and I'm trying to, you know, in the winter, you can't park in the streets, you can't park in the parking lots, you have to get your car somewhere else, so where you're putting your car? And this is so, I mean, there's a reason why there should be a certain amount of parking here, and I'm curious on why so why did you turn,
To meet the side yard setback.
yeah, why didn't you just turn it away from that, then we wouldn't be having, you'd have no, like, if you put the building like this. Like,
Then they would need one side yard setback and one rear,
no, they wouldn't need a rear, because they have
if they
this,
squared it off of this.
they
front
square,
corner,
yeah,
If they brought this.
if they brought it down like, they brought it down like this, if they brought it straight down.
Yeah, now they, oh, but over there.
Yeah.
Cause then, yeah, probably taking more there, yeah.
Yeah, the distance between the buildings just needs to be, I believe, under the fire code, and I'd have to double check that. I think it needs to be the height, what is the distance between the two buildings right now? Right.
This is 61 foot.
Leasehold.
Oh, no, that's 61 foot to the back property.
Pretty close, that's all.
like show it around.
From the northwest corner.
Yeah, so the nearest,
From the nearest corner to the nearest corner to the existing house, I'm gonna say it's about 35
then you
feet.
could.
The house,
you
the house
could easily-
steps in conveniently and all
You could
goes.
easily-
It does, but that's also a little bit of hollow in the landscape.
Right,
So like, one of my major concerns here is that you're pretty close to somebody else's house.
The house on Lookout,
Yes,
yeah, I've talked to him.
yeah, but he's not gonna own the house in 50 years. This is
No.
not, we're not worried about right now.
Right.
I'm worried about
I
50 years from now that someone's bought one of these properties isn't like, why is this guy looking inside my bedroom window?
that scale is much closer than 30 also.
Well, that's the side where it's,
Using this.
Yeah,
it
right,
is a pre-existing non-conforming condition, because when they put the stakes in, one of the stakes was about a foot into his driveway. So I figured I would be neighborly and not make him move his driveway. And it is a very sort of steep uphill, like if you look at it, his house is perched much higher than mine, it's very steep.
Mhm.
And so I don't think there's gonna be any bedroom visibility.
And so the peak is gonna be facing towards Lookout Avenue.
Yes, because the sun, because of the sun.
Yeah,
And the other thing I wanted to say about that is that I don't know, like, we're planning to have the electrical panel in the house.
Yeah.
A new one, so that it connects to the ADU, so that any, like, the excess solar that would come from the panels can go to the main house.
Mhm.
I have solar panels on the main house, but they're not very efficient. And they're not, these would be, the roof would be designed to make maximum use of the solar panel, so. What I've been told is that it would create more energy, especially in the summer, than the little house would use.
Yeah.
And so then it could go back to the big house.
There are, just to be aware, so you're aware, there are a couple of younger trees that will have to be dropped in order to maximize the solar gain.
That's it. I'm passing by, I wondering how many trees you're gonna have to down in order to get.
Probably 2, maybe 3.
But I'm more than willing to plant more trees on the other side. If you see
No, I was curious about
what
that.
I'm doing, I grow a lot of stuff and I don't like to cut anything down unless I have to. So
They're
I have to.
trees.
So how tall are the ceilings on this?
8. 8 on the first floor, and then it clears 8 feet in the second bedroom.
Plus 8 is 16, so you have 3 feet in the floor?
So we've got a foot of flooring between first and second floor,
Okay.
and then the roof structure is a foot.
So 8, 9, 10.
On the floor itself.
Eight.
Is this,
And the
one on
first floor
first
is
floor.
off of grade.
right.
Another foot-ish. Yeah. That's how we get to
Remember
the,
the 10-foot ceiling debacle?
I talk about it all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
that's how we get to the 19
On the-
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
peak
really
side,
someone-
yeah.
on the peak
Yeah.
side.
No, we had a huge issue with 10-foot ceilings on the property. It was sort of, it was. Yours?
That's spacious.
So the windows on facing your neighbor, there's on the second floor, there's supposed to be some windows that are fixed and some windows that can open. Was reading that.
They're all operable windows. And the larger ones on the backside are egress windows.
So the larger ones, yeah. So you can give us, you just give us one view. Where's the door?
It's here, faces,
It faces
Towards the house,
that, which be right there, which is the street side. So the shorter elevation faces Lookout. The entrance door faces the existing residence.
are you keeping the?
It's all to the north of the
The
property.
taller is to the north, correct. So it slopes from High Point north, Low Point south.
Are you keeping the driveway portion that's there now? Like, cause it kind of butts up to it, right?
Keeping the driveway portion.
Well, so I can't tell, I mean, I can probably scale it again, but so that driveway sticks out the corner
It's
of
like
that
about 10 feet.
from the edge of the actual road is
Yes.
like
It's an odd,
16 feet.
it's an odd situation in that the village has control over a large portion
Yeah,
that's beyond the roadway.
right, they've got.
Yeah.
It looks like around
It's
12,
about 12 feet from the
Yeah.
property line to the asphalt edge.
and then the building is 4 foot
Is 4 foot in.
beyond that,
Right,
right?
so basically from the asphalt edge to that southwest corner of the
Yeah.
building is the 16-foot grade.
Yeah, so is that staying like a gravel driveway?
It's
Yes.
gravel. I'm going with gravel.
No, I understand that, I'm trying to think about the function,
Yes,
as far as like
Wait a second, so.
the purpose of that. Because now the door is on the other side, like, so is that the purpose of that for potential parking or to leave gravel up to the end of that building?
so leave the gravel to the edge of the building, yes, for potential parking.
Is that's the thought process,
Yes.
potential parking?
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to get at.
yeah.
Okay, so.
I had hip surgery the day, that's why I need to stand and apologize.
Dude, Oh, so,
I can't sit for long.
so this doorway,
Yes,
where is that?
it would be at the southeast corner, I'm sorry, southwest
So
corner.
it's right here?
Correct.
That's why I was asking about the parking, because it comes to the end of
So
the
that-
building where they're.
Okay, so the sun, okay, so the tall end is,
Is to the
short
right.
end is
Short end is to look out and the tall end is to the middle.
short.
No, other way around.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Short is on the south side,
Oh,
Tall
closest
is
to
to
the
the
lookout.
Yep.
The ridge, if you want to call it that, is on the north side.
And that makes sense for lighting too, right?
Privacy and solar gain.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I meant, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Well, solar gain and.
We're gonna get
Yeah,
more light
yeah.
to the spark.
There would
Within the
be,
windows, but more light to the panels, the way it's oriented.
there would be more direct sun in the bedrooms, but less solar gain if we spun the house around.
Yeah.
Yeah, natural solar gain versus panel solar.
Very
Right, yeah.
difficult
Right,
Yes.
right.
choose between, because I,
What's the greatest,
Right,
what's the greatest gain for the ADU, right?
right.
So the greatest gain would be to have a high point on the north, the low point on the south. To pick up that 23-degree angle of that roof for the solar gain
Thanks for actually knowing that. I already knew everything about that.
and the privacy for the bedrooms.
Right.
Is at the
The
rear,
privacy.
at the rear of the home.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the tall
The
wall.
street side.
So one of my major concerns is the closeness to the other person's house.
to the one on Lookout,
Yes,
okay.
someone is going to live in that house for the next 200 years,
But they don't need a
and
setback there, right?
they do. I'm not,
No, they don't need that
No.
set.
Oh,
They need
yeah.
the
No,
north and the south set.
for the house on Lookout there within, they're compliant.
Yeah.
no, on the east side, no, they're not. They have to be the height of the building away from that.
12 foot or the height of the. building.
Well,
Height of the building or whatever's greater, that's
Yeah,
20 feet, so that could be 20 feet back.
Except because they're replacing an existing structure.
That gets them the
It allows,
structure,
right,
but
it
not,
allows them to be the same setback as the existing. The other two, they are changing the setback because of the new structure being
Okay.
bigger.
so let me be more clear.
Oh, cause that corner pivots, so
Yeah.
it's technically.
I-
foot
I-
inside of-
I am very concerned about the person has an existing house there. And their privacy. If there was no windows on that wall, that would make me way happier. and
You
way more
can
comfortable.
ask them to move the building, but that's considered the rear setback because it's fronting on Plattekill.
Mhm.
And the rear setback for the existing garage was 12 feet. And because they're putting this where the existing garage was, as long as they don't increase the setback. Or excuse me, decrease the setback, they're okay.
So what you're saying is even though that it's on an angle, right, like that one corner, the
Well, it matches the
northeast corner
property.
matches there, so there's, it's,
Yeah.
it's.
They
It
can
don't,
hold
it
that
doesn't mean you
more
can't
than
say
your
you can make
footage.
a better project.
But,
Yeah,
uh,
I think beyond even the variance.
Okay, let me be very clear here. I would be way more comfortable if you were granting privacy to your neighbor. That you're very close to,
I respect,
because you have way more, you have a lot of options here on where to place this.
Mhm.
And if you were to show courtesy, it would go a long way.
I do respect that, but I also want to add that the zoning board has a lot less authority than the planning board in these regards. So, you know, this isn't a variance that they're seeking, so it's really not something that we could deny. The, other variances on, just because it's, it is something that we can discuss and, the applicant is willing to work with, but.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
And the one thing, Sean, to build off that, if they change the angle of it. Then it's weighing the benefit of the solar versus, less of a
Being
setback.
a few degrees off of true north doesn't have much effect on solar at all.
Oh,
in
okay.
terms
So,
of percentage.
so if they were able to rotate it and the setbacks that are being asked for were then decreased. that would be, so it's all a combination.
Even if,
of the
yeah,
whole
even if you
task.
rotate, even if you rotated it, you're still holding that for, now you're just holding it longer on the
Yeah,
side yard.
yeah, I'm not sure, I don't know.
I mean,
And also then you're probably clearing more trees because there aren't trees in the current driveway.
Right,
That's true.
Right, I don't wanna cut.
all good points.
yeah, you're,
My whole
So-
thing is I just can't make the decision without the.
yeah, and also too, that a lot of these problems would disappear if you
Yeah.
were under the rules of what you're supposed to be, which is you're supposed to be 300 square feet. And so by building it way bigger,
Oh, yeah.
that would solve all the problems that we're having right now.
Well,
So,
they can go up to 480.
Mike, please,
Sorry,
if we need your help, okay?
okay,
So a lot of this stuff, a lot of these, you're asking for three things. Well, two of them would go away if all of them would go away if you made it smaller. So, you're asking for a lot. This is 100% increase on the size, more or less, or maybe 80%, something like that. I read it and I forgot it.
It's close.
Yeah, and so you're building something that, I mean, when I look at the footprint of this, it is almost the size of your house. This apartment is not supposed to be have the same footprint as your house, and it looks like if it's not exactly that, it's really close. And you're asking for, doubling of the size, and you're also putting these things together. Now, if you're polite to your neighbors and you make it very aesthetic, and you are making this solar and doing all the stuff we've talked about, then you're more likely to get approval. But this is a huge ask. This is a lot. This isn't like one or two, this isn't a foot, this is 16 feet. These are very big asks. And the size of this is really not what this program was designed for. I mean, the whole idea of these apartments, which is supposed to be like affordable housing, and when you make something that big, it's gonna be not very affordable. So that's about it.
Well,
I don't have any, you guys have,
the county's gonna determine the cost. And then if I know I said this before, but my neighbor. My property actually extends into my neighbor's driveway.
Yeah,
Like, when they put the marker, it was like
yeah.
a big triangle of his asphalt, and I'm not using asphalt.
and so, Mike, you're gonna find out the parking lot situation?
actually, I looked it up, so 3 spaces on property is required for a 3-bedroom unit, but they could ask for a variance from that as well.
Okay, so now you need another.
Upstairs bedroom is the same.
The
floor
bedrooms stack and the
Yep.
bedrooms are the same size.
That's what I was assuming, it's on player.
That's the plan.
Your home is 1,300 square foot roughly,
I
right
don't
now,
know.
It's about 1490.
so 1,490. Alright.
Is the living room vaulted over up
Yes,
to the? yeah.
yep. It's not a flat ceiling.
Right.
over the
That's
living
cut out
room.
of the stairs.
Yeah. Yep. The bedroom on the first floor, that has the 8-foot ceiling.
Yeah, of course.
And then the ceiling slopes up to accommodate,
And
give it a
back,
little bit more volume
right, and back
and
as
that.
well, yeah.
Well, the bath will have, the bath will have a ceiling to it.
Yeah,
We're putting the Nadion system for the hot water and mechanical over the bathroom.
and then, yeah,
And then, there will be split systems for, heating and cooling.
Where are you gonna put them?
The condenser,
Yes,
to be determined.
okay, I need to know that at the
Sure.
next meeting, because if you put it towards your neighbors, that's,
They'll be off the ground.
yeah, I know that they're ugly, I've seen them. I know
Yeah.
they're ugly. So if you put it on the back of the house, that'd be much better.
That would
Sure.
be fine.
And
There's nothing at the back of the house, it's
Yeah. that would be perfect.
a big rock, and that's where my neighbors put their,
Yeah, back of the house is perfect, because those are, if they're located there, that would be much happier.
there won't, no one's gonna be. They don't go in that section of their yard, it's. I mean, we're very good, like, my dogs jump the fence and play with their dogs, so. They know us pretty well.
And that's excellent, but we can't take the current people into consideration, so in perpetuity, right? So this building outlasts all of us. Like,
Okay,
I definitely agree with that. However, I will say that whoever buys them in the future will know that there's a need there. So,
Yeah,
you know,
of
at
course.
least they'll come to it with that awareness. So it is slightly different. It's not like, you know, they've owned it and lived there and then all of a sudden this pops
but
up.
I mean, there's other things to take into consideration, because if this neighbor might be fine with it being 2 foot closer, and then maybe when they go to sell their house, someone that was going to pay a certain amount. You're
You're right. You're definitely right. It's
Like, I
definitely-
can't take your bird, like,
Yeah, no. I think you're
I'm
right.
asked not to, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, they did recently rezone it from B1. Just, they didn't even tell us, they just did it. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
B1 disappeared and it was quite a while ago, actually. B1 was removed, it doesn't exist anymore, probably about 6 years ago.
I apologize, I'm looking at some of the documents. Is there a reason that, you know, you're asking for the variance in the size of the, if you already answered that, I didn't.
Well-
To accommodate the bath, the bedroom, the 2 bedrooms.
a caretaker.
One for the caretaker, one for the residents. The bathroom takes up a little bit more room. That's not really the driving factor. The driving factor is the access and functioning need. For the living space, living kitchen, dining, as well as the bedroom.
The caretaker wouldn't live there. I mean, it's so someone can be there 24/7. One of us, you know, we'll take turns. And then I guess when my parents pass, then that would be the situation for whoever comes after. That it would accommodate somebody who needed care and somebody who could watch over them, you know.
So how many years do you have that it has to be at the reduced rates and then you can go to full market rate?
I don't think it's.
I thought it was more than 10. I thought it was 10. I think I
10
remember
sounds-
seeing 10 somewhere, but I'm not,
So 10 years. It's 10 years, that means it's probably never gonna be reduced rate unless your parents are gonna die in the next 10 years.
well, my dad's 94, my mom's 91.
Okay, all right.
And, I hope, I'd be very blessed if they live that long, but.
Yeah.
I don't also know exactly when I'd be able to move them there. That's gonna be a big deal. Probably, I don't know if it'll be both of them or just one of them. At this point, there's various, you don't need to know their medical situation, but
Age
but,
is not to like, a strong wind can take you out at that point.
yeah, they're pretty frail.
Yeah. The parking situation, you're gonna have to figure out.
So what is there to figure out?
Where you're gonna put it, and then you have to calculate where you're gonna put your parking, and then you have to figure out, because you need to have 3 spots. And then you're gonna have to calculate the impervious membrane of the property. And
So, Sean, just like, clarification, does the parking have to be on site or? can-
Yes.
The code does say it must be on the parcel, I can, because this is a situation where the street is so far. Where the curb edge is so far from the property line, I could. Or the applicant could reach out to DPW and see, because currently there are vehicles parking there on the. Village's right of way, and because the edge of the curb is there, it may be. Something the DPW superintendent. Has less of an issue with, so that could potentially be part of the parking. And then if 3 can't be accomplished, they could ask for a variance from that rule as well.
Yeah, I would be very uncomfortable. Having a property in a village that does not allow you to park on the street in the winter. when there's a snowstorm. That's just not gonna. You need to have some, at least a spot or two. I mean, you're supposed to have three, but to have zero is not really. That to me is a problem. And the other problem I'm seeing is that that structure is so large that if you put a driveway in, you're probably not gonna have the coverage, you're probably gonna have not enough.
Well, there's a lot. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, the only thing is
I don't
like,
think
this
it's
is,
tricky to
but this
have
is all impervious.
Yeah,
This is the road. So you take away that,
also then that's debatable too, like if it, yeah, that gets tricky,
yeah,
because that's
so
property and it's
is into the middle of the street,
in the
yeah.
middle of the road.
Yeah, I mean, we could, but even if you said, okay, if this is their property, right, that makes it, you're still not. There's not, when you fill up this whole entire area of the house, it's gonna get, and then you put a driveway in, I mean, to me, the thing that makes the most sense is putting a driveway with a blacktop. And, putting it right to the front of the house, or moving the house to, the new build to the left a little bit and putting something. But that's something that architect, I'm sure, is more what we can figure out.
Any kind of estimate on what this is gonna cost to build?
Not yet, but, I have to, in order to get the funding from the county, I have to have an approved plan. So once, I don't even know how that money works, but it's $112,000. And, I, am hoping to, and then I believe I'll have other forms of assistance from my family if it became necessary for it to cost more than that. I have, I know some local contractors and my daughter's friend is an electrician. And so I've got people that would sort of help, so that I wouldn't be paying like a giant contractor's fee, because, he's agreed to help me with the contracting, and he's got, because he's an electrician, he has a lot of connections to people that, that do work, and it's probably not, I'm hoping charges as much. And then the other thing I was thinking about was that because it's relatively small, I mean, to you, it looks like it's relatively large, but because it's relatively small compared to most other types of projects, I was thinking that maybe there would be a way of getting some leftover materials. I'm gonna put a lot of effort into building it the right way, but also not into, into being frugal with my but also looking for the long term.
Yeah, so you would grant of 112, and you have to show insufficient savings in order to basically, be approved for the grant, right? That's what you had to do, and you can only exceed if you have one person in your household, there's like income limitations, right? Couldn't
It's
$100,000, right? Yeah, so I don't know, I was just curious if you had any idea of what a zero net
No.
project actually costs.
I wasn't originally,
We're charging between $175 and $230 a square foot. That's been our,
So doing the math, what does that come out to, you think?
it's roughly 200 to use around.
So you'd have to come up with an extra 80.
right,
Alright.
which I,
Should not do something.
right,
But I was just curious, because I didn't know.
right, no, as a matter of fact, that's been one of the reasons that I believe I've been told that a lot of these projects haven't gotten off the ground, because it takes such an investment, I had to pay for the survey, that they don't release the money until you have a plan that's been approved.
Staff engineer. drawings.
But obviously they're, they want this program to be successful, so.
I'm just curious.
I've never done this before, so honestly, I don't know how I get the money, but that's what I was told by the guy who's in charge of it. that you've got to get your, once you get your stamped plan, so you can get your stamped plan and then we'll release the funds. So,
Is this program still in effect or is it?
It is.
It is? Oh, okay.
They're already in round 3 of funding.
Oh, okay.
This project is part of round 2.
All right, cool. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so we gave you some stuff to think about.
so does this mean I can't do anything until the zoning ZBA meets the next time? or-
So what you have to do now is you have to put a pink sign on your house. You have to notify all your neighbors. We have to declare. We're gonna have a public hearing. I'm just gonna walk you through the whole steps. So we're gonna have a public hearing next time. After the public hearing, we're gonna go through the standards. We'll discuss each one at length and we'll get a idea of where we're headed with straw poll. Our lawyer will write a document on what our opinion is. And then the third month we vote on it. But you'll pretty much know what's going on next.
But that won't help with the.
I mean, I would just say, you know, and
You're 3 months out before you can get us our vote or not. Like it's gonna be 3 months.
I think speaking for myself with the concerns that were raised here today, you may want to look at modifying what it is you're looking to do, just to give us other options to look at. You know, because like Sean was saying, it's 3 months, you know, next time we have a public hearing and, you know, I understand that may prolong the process, but it may be more beneficial because you know, there have been some concerns that are raised that, you know, I don't know how you can address without coming up with some sort of plan B, you know, that's just.
On a similar note to that, if parking is a thing. Figuring that out.
The parking is definitely a thing.
So that it doesn't become a 4 month,
Yeah.
because we don't wanna have to restart.
Yeah, in a matter of timing, though, after, you know, the board has obviously analyzed all these things and does decide to vote, if you would like, you know, you're welcome to vote, and then I can write up the decision afterwards. And then obviously have you review it and sign it, and then we can get that to the applicant, that way maybe it doesn't have to be, you know,
It's
a
always,
whole extra meeting.
it's always 3 months.
Okay,
We're not gonna change that. Yeah, we've done that and it's
okay,
been,
yeah, that's.
it's not been, it is not the way we do it, because we've done it and it's been awful. So,
That's why I mean, just,
yeah,
so it may drag it out for 4 months or 5 months, but my point is, if you come up with some options that you can look at, that may assuage your concerns, it
yeah,
could be more beneficial.
I'm hearing parking and I'm hearing square footage.
and also being the closeness of that structure to an existing, what's the actual? Is this to scale? Like, is this accurate?
Is to a scale, the printout is not to.
Okay, so this distance here, this distance from, I just drew it. You see that, the blue distance there between the structure and the other structure?
Yeah.
I need to know that
Okay.
really exactly. Because my major concern here is the character of the neighborhood and having having a building next to the building right on the property line. And then asking for setbacks is, you know,
But I think
something we take.
there's a client on that back, that's not, they're not.
I just want to know what the distance is because
Right.
these plans, I
And
don't
that's
think these
fine, I'm
plans are
just
accurate, so I want
finding out
to
that-
know what that distance is.
Yeah, my point to at least the size of the scope was more to find ways to get parking in there, so that's kind of why it's.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
you have a I shouldn't say pretty significant, you have a grade change between the adjacent property to the east and the proposed ADU.
About 5 foot.
It's about 5 foot, but that southwest corner of the adjacent property is their garage. And you actually step up to their first floor. I can't remember if that house is split.
It's very steep anyhow, if you look at it. And it's,
I hear what you're saying though about the proximity between.
it's close.
Yeah,
I mean,
I hear it too, but I also know that if you just go around the corner, you'll see. There's like tiny house wedged between 2 houses just around the corner on Plattekill. if you look at the neighborhood, there's plenty of that going on. A lot of the houses have apartments. It's a very mixed neighborhood. We have families, but we also have a lot of student rental.
I just need to know the distance,
Okay,
okay, because the plans don't have the distance. And that's something we know, so I need that distance.
Okay.
And like, that's it. That's it's something we're looking at this as a whole. But the character of the neighborhood, you know, you wanna try to be nice to your neighbors in general,
absolutely.
so I
I'm
think that's.
nice to my neighbors. I've never had any trouble with any of my neighbors. I talked to the people across the street, on Plattekill and the one up the hill, and I see the other one every day.
So, do you want to proceed with the public hearing next week?
You mean
Next month?
Next month,
Next month,
yeah.
okay, all right, and we'll figure out, you have a bunch of things as an architect to work on, I think you have a good handle on what we were asking, okay? So I motion to have a public hearing for this property, August 11th.
I will be here, but as long as you guys have a quorum.
That motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, okay, and I think that's it. Okay, so I motion to close the meeting,
Motion.
Second.
vote, aye, it's closed. Okay, cool.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Rich.
For alternates or anyone else, if I can get it. 10 days.
I have a company. So I'm gonna.
You notice.
Can you guys make the next meeting?
You didn't do that or?
I'm away.
I know, I'm trying to.
It did.
So I get 5 documents. For one.
Oh.
You'll have to, because you're on a quarter mile instead of phase. Two sides, one on each side.
They shade.
And I'll send you.
Yeah.
10 days.
Well, hey, you look like you're, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that you've gone through.
Well, you know, I think the good news is, it seems like something that you'll be able to recover.
I had it done my left here.
Yeah.
Once the surgical piece.
Yeah, right, exactly, that's the part, you're,
That's the part that really.
But, well, hey, I hope you're healing.
I agree with you. It might- it's in my proposal.
Yeah, I think you too.
If they ever move forward.
Yeah, that,
I'm gonna leave this stuff in my. Just have everything on my.
Yeah. It's nice. Sean was so funny about that name. I think Emily has a name tag too.
Yeah.